The wind moved like a living thing across the high plains that morning, carrying with it the scent of cedar smoke and the distant echo of a drumbeat. In the heart of Cherokee lands, where the mountains touch the sky and the rivers sing to the valleys, a young woman stood alone at the edge of the cliff. Her name was Ahiv. Warrior. Healer. The keeper of old stories. That morning, her eyes searched the horizon not for an enemy, but for an answer. The village had been restless for many moons. Sickness had come like a shadow, stealing the breath of the old and the young alike. And worse, whispers of war moved closer each day. Ahiv carried the weight of both battles, the one seen with eyes, and the one unseen, deep inside the soul. As she closed her eyes, the words her grandmother once spoke returned to her: when the wind carries the voice of the drum, the Creator is near. Yet this morning, the wind carried not only the drum's voice, but a whisper that felt older than time. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11 verse 28. Ahiv did not yet know what those words meant. But she knew they had found her for a reason. The day before, the council fire had burned until the moon climbed high. The elders spoke in low voices, their faces lit by the red glow of embers. They told of the old prophecies, times when the people would be tested, not only by enemies of flesh and blood, but by shadows that could touch the heart. Ahiv listened, her hands wrapped around a carved cedar staff, a gift from her grandmother, the medicine woman of their tribe. When her grandmother placed it in her hands years ago, she had whispered, "This staff is not for the path you walk, but for the battles you will not see." That night, Ahiv dreamed of a hawk circling above a river, its wings cutting the clouds, its eyes fixed on her. In the dream, the river was rising, threatening to sweep away the village. She awoke with the first light, heart pounding, the hawk's cry still echoing in her mind. In Cherokee tradition, the hawk is a messenger, a sign that the Creator is speaking. But what was he saying? That morning, Ahiv went to the river. The air was sharp with the cold breath of late autumn. The water moved fast, carrying leaves like scattered memories. She knelt, touched the surface, and prayed, not in the old language alone, but in the way her heart now knew: Creator, show me the way to give my people rest. The answer did not come in words, but in movement. A single feather floated down the river toward her. She reached for it, and in that moment, a voice deep and steady rose inside her: Do not fear the shadows. I am the one who stands between them and you. That evening, Ahiv returned to the village and gathered the people around the council fire. The flames licked the night sky, casting their faces in gold and shadow. She told them of the dream, the hawk, and the river. She spoke of the voice that promised rest and protection. Some listened in silence. Others shook their heads. The enemy comes in days, one warrior said. We need weapons, not feathers. But Ahiv knew that the greatest battles were not won by the strongest arms, but by the deepest faith. That night, while the village slept, Ahiv walked alone to the sacred circle at the edge of the forest. There, she lit the cedar fire, and the drum began to speak. The night was heavy with the smell of cedar and sage. Above, the stars glimmered like the eyes of ancestors watching from the great sky. Ahiv's hands moved over the drum, each beat like a heartbeat calling to the unseen realm. She sang in the old tongue, weaving words that spoke of protection, of healing, of courage. As the wind shifted, the fire snapped, and the shadows of the trees danced like warriors in battle. Then, a sound, distant but growing, like the rumble of many feet upon the earth. The enemy was near. Fear moved through the village like a cold wind. Mothers clutched their children. Warriors gripped their bows. One elder turned to Ahiv, voice trembling, "What now, child?" She remembered the voice by the river, "Do not fear the shadows. I am the one who stands between them and you." I have lifted the feather high so all could see. We will not meet fear with fear. We will meet it with the strength of the one who made the mountains and rivers. The warriors hesitated, their breath hanging in the cold night. But slowly, they formed a circle around the fire. Ahiv began to pray aloud, her words a bridge between the traditions of her people and the promises of the Creator. Creator, shield us as the hawk shields her young. Lord of heaven, fight for us as you fought for Israel. Let no shadow cross this circle. A sudden gust swept through, bending the flames but not extinguishing them. In that moment, a strange stillness fell over the land. From the darkness, the enemy's footsteps slowed, then stopped. There was murmuring, confusion, and then a retreat. Without a single arrow loosed, the danger passed. The people stared at Ahiv in awe, their fear replaced by a trembling kind of hope. She knew it was not her strength that saved them, but the one who had spoken by the river. Dawn came gently, spilling gold over the ridges and painting the river in firelight. The village stirred, but this morning there was no rush of fear, only the quiet hum of gratitude. Children played near the cedar fire, their laughter mingling with the scent of sage and the sound of the river. Ahiv walked among her people, the feather still in her hand. She saw how the lines of worry on their faces had softened. The elders gathered around her, the oldest speaking first. Last night, we saw something our fathers spoke of but never witnessed. The shadow feared the light. Ahiv nodded. Because the light is not ours alone. It comes from the one who calls to all who are weary, and gives them rest. She spoke then of the voice by the river, and shared the words in the tongue of the traders and missionaries. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. The people listened, and the words felt like water after a long drought. That day, they chose to mark the riverbank with a circle of stones. Each stone carried a symbol: an arrow for courage, a leaf for healing, a feather for peace. They called it the resting circle. And once each moon, the people would gather there, not only to remember the night the shadows fled, but to lay down their burdens before the Creator. Ahiv would lead them, her drum steady, her voice weaving the old prayers with the new promise. And each time, as the wind moved across the water, it seemed to carry the same whisper that found her by the river: do not fear. I am here. Rest. The seasons turned, as they always do. Leaves fell and returned, rivers swelled and quieted, and the people of the village walked lighter beneath the sky. Ahiv grew older, her hair touched with silver, but her eyes still carried the fire of that night. Sometimes, when the moon was high and the air was still, she would walk alone to the resting circle. There, she would kneel by the river, listening for the whisper in the wind. And always, it came not in thunder, but in the quiet voice that had once found her: come to me, and I will give you rest. My friend, perhaps you have walked through many nights of fear and burden. Perhaps you have fought battles seen and unseen. But just as the Creator met Ahiv on the riverbank, He meets you here, in this very moment. He is still speaking the same promise: come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. This story we've shared today is not just a part of history, it's a reminder that no matter how fierce the storm, faith will always lead you through. If this story has touched your heart, share this video so its strength can reach others. And don't forget to subscribe to God Fights For Me, so we can walk together in the journeys yet to come. Remember, you are never alone. The one who made the mountains and the rivers still fights for you.